this is Russ. Yeah, I'm back in the car again. What time is it now? 11:14 a.m. on a Monday. What's the temperature out here? Ooh, look at this. About 8 degrees according to the car. Yeah, it's cold out here. You know, my cousin sent me a text asking me if I tried out the new tires yet. And I told him no. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to ride on it on snow. I did have a little bit of snow, but it was so minor it didn't matter if it had new tires or old tires. I can't tell. So everything's all scraped off. Of course, the street plows came through, you know, during the weekend and plowed off everything. We only got maybe about an inch here. I know other parts of the country have been hit hard with the snow, but here in at least the northwest suburbs of Chicago, yeah, we didn't get hit that hard. Let me get past this here. So where am I headed today? I am headed to the Cheesecake Factory. Yep. We have a luncheon with two of my high school friends, my brother and myself. We do this every quarter of the year, as many of you people know. So we're going to do it again at the Cheesecake Factory. Now here's what I typically order. I typically get a Cobb salad. Yeah. Everything at the Cheesecake Factory is just too expensive in my opinion, so we usually get lunch portions of it. And I think even that is like $17.95 or $18.95. I mean, it's pretty expensive. So I don't go overboard at the Cheesecake Factory. But the reason we go there is because one of my friends has special dietary needs, and Cheesecake Factory can handle that. So that's usually where we end up going. And it's kind of a halfway point for all of us. so that's where we're going. All right. I'll show you a couple photos of my typical Cobb salads. If I remember to take a photo today, I'll show you the actual Cobb salad that I get. But yeah, that's what I'll probably end up doing. Let me show you some other photos of some food. Then we'll talk about some e-bike stuff too. All right. But let me show you a couple photos here. Recently, our family went to have dim sum. Dim sum is like Chinese dumplings and things like that. And we did that a couple weeks ago, actually. I just didn't put it up there for you guys to see. I'll show you some of the dim sum items that we had. And then also, I mentioned before that I was going to an Indian restaurant with one of the interns from our church. He's an Indian guy from India. So I took him to lunch. I didn't take too many photos there either. I mean, the thing is, here's the thing with Indian food, and I mentioned this to him too. I says, every time I've gone to Indian restaurant with other Indian friends, it's fine, but when I go to an Indian restaurant with non-Indian friends, they always say, it just looks like a bunch of sauces. He said, yeah, it kind of does. So, yeah. But anyways, I like the stuff. I actually do like Indian food quite a bit. And so we went there as well. Okay, so now let's talk about some e-bike things too today. Now over the weekend, you know, I had a video that came out talking about the issues with New Jersey and California, right? Because they have regulations coming out that's going to really affect. Well, it's affecting their states, but eventually it may trickle down to other states. So many of the YouTubers seem to be talking about it this time because we kind of all feel this could be the start of some bad things for e-bikes. Yeah. Even Micah, who's part of lectric, I guess is what he calls himself, or ebikeschool.com, actually, I think is where he put it on his video. He was saying too that he felt that this is going to be a tough year for e-bikes, is the beginning of a tough year, and I think that's true. We kind of all saw it starting to happen, and then of course this past year we've seen quite a bit of that, and now with this new ruling from New Jersey and California is just solidifying it more. Now, one other thing that we found out too over this weekend that I didn't realize at the time when I made that video is that New Jersey is also going to try to limit what can be sold as e-bikes in their state by online sources. I don't know how they can police that. How are they going to be able to police it? Now, the question is whether whether the companies who sell will just simply stop selling into that state. I don't know how they're going to police it, but they're basically saying that, you know, if I don't know if it's you guys can tell me in the comments if it's basically based on certain wattages or not, because I heard somebody say something to the effect that, you know, it can't be peaked over 750 watts, but that whole peak over 750 was more actually about California, because they don't want things to go past 750. What a disaster. This whole thing is a total disaster. So I don't know, policing the online sales of e-bikes. And then I think somebody said that you can still buy the e-bikes in the store but not online. I don't know. I don't know what to believe anymore. It's so out of control that it's really kind of unbelievable that they could do that. They've basically bypassed the federal regulations, and they're not even identifying the classes of 1, 2, and 3. They're just saying all e-bikes. Can't do anything with the e-bikes. Can't ride them. Can't do anything. I mean, that's nuts. That's totally nuts. Could be the start of a difficult year for us. Anyway, in my areas, besides my own town here, other surrounding towns, they're coming down with rulings, but they're not like this. You know, the question is whether they'll adopt those rulings, say, well, that state can do it, we could do it too. You know, that's the fear. How do we stop it? I don't know. Put your comments. Let me know, what do you think is the best way to stop it? Others have said just show up to your city council meetings and put your 2 cents in, but I think it needs more than just that, really. I don't know how we're going to regulate that. So anyway, are e-bike companies still making bikes and selling bikes to our area? Yes. I've been contacted by a couple of companies already indicating that there are new models coming this year. So it's not it's not stopping unless they are stopped for whatever reason. They're still going to be selling into at least our state. But you know, some of the companies too are not United States companies, so they're not looking at it in terms of states at this point. Although eventually they probably will. I mean, like, you know, there's regulations from everybody, right? At this point, how are they supposed to know what they can and can't sell? It's just too difficult, in my opinion. Yeah. What do you think? I mean, everyone was jumping in on my video, and then looking at the other videos online too. Everyone's jumping in on all their videos too on this topic. I mean, because really, I think at this point, we're all starting to realize this is going to affect us, right? Even if it doesn't affect us now, it will eventually affect us somehow. Yeah, because other states jump on board. Many of the people were saying that this is just a money grab. Yeah, it could very well be. They want to license you and everything. That would be a money grab. I don't know how that's going to, you know, stop people from riding crazy. I mean, I guess what they're trying to do to stop you is they'll confiscate your bike, is what they're saying in New Jersey. They'll confiscate your bike or give you a big fine, that type of thing. I don't know if that would stop people. It might. Who knows? But as far as I'm concerned, we all have to kind of keep an eye on what's going on and be careful with how we ride. I mean, it's really a handful of people who ride crazy that affect the rest of us who don't ride crazy. But the lawmakers seem to want to put this generalized ruling for everybody, even those who don't ride bad. I mean, I don't remember which video it was. It was one of the other YouTubers. Sorry, I didn't make note and remember who, but the comment was made that, you know, they're trying to even have this thing in New Jersey for Class 1 style bikes. Those are the most basic style e-bikes, if you think about it. They don't help past 20 miles an hour. They don't have a throttle. And if you think about it too, even non-e-bike riders oftentimes go past 20 miles per hour. With a motor or not, they still go past it. So how are we any worse than the other? Now, it could be said, well, your bikes are heavier. If you crash into me, you're going to hurt me more than the less heavy bike. But you know, a crash is going to hurt. I mean, if they're going to regulate us, they got to regulate regular bikes as well, because you know, it's just ridiculous that they push heavily here. Now, like I said before, you know, even though I can ride quicker than 20 miles per hour, and I often do, usually around 22, 23. I mean, if you watch any of my videos, the norm is around that range. You can see it on my speedometer, right? The norm is usually around 22, 23. That's, you know, that's not going to be 28 miles per hour. I don't actually ride 28 miles per hour unless I'm competing with a car somewhere. So it's usually 22, 23 miles an hour at the most. But somebody said to me as well, he says, you know, the YouTubers, including you, are essentially, you know, if you're telling people how to unlock their bikes, are you also part of the problem? Well, the thing is, when I tell people how to unlock their bike, is to tell them how to be able to turn their bike into a Class 3 bike. And in some situations, Class 3 is allowed, right? So if I don't tell them how to unlock their bikes at Class 3, those people who buy that bike can't do it then. Even though they can legally ride their bike at Class 3, see? So I have to tell them how to unlock it. The only bike that I would say that was able to unlock past that would be the wired bike that I had, right? Now, the thing is, with the wired bike, I didn't have to tell anybody. It's, if you go into the menu, you can immediately see where and how to do that. It's actually pretty easy to see how to do that because it's all in English. It's not like P codes or anything like that. So am I part of the problem? I would say no. In my opinion, I don't say I am. If there was a way to teach you how to illegally do it, then I would be part of the problem. But, you know, I'm not teaching you how to do that. So yeah, in my mind, I didn't cause any of these issues. But in the commenter's mind, well, he was asking, are you part of the problem? And I would say no, I don't think so. What about the stop signs, Russ? Okay, we're gonna start that again. We all know what happens with the stop signs. I mean, I've even discussed it with my local police officers. Come on. Start that thing again. Anyway, yeah, we all have to be diligent, I think, at this point, and try to get people to ride safer. That's all it really is, and that's where they should really be focusing. They shouldn't be focusing on banning e-bikes. That's ridiculous. Yeah. All right, anyways, I'm very close to where I need to be. So put your 2 cents in on this one too. Let me know further thoughts about this whole thing with this e-bike ban and California's wattage ban. Oh man, it's just crazy. All right, if you like the video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I'll talk to you guys next time.